On December the 24th, 1944, at 3 p.m., German tanks and infantry routed American troops out of the village of Verdenne in Belgium. This sector became known as the Verdenne Pocket. Both American and German commanders placed a high priority on this sector. The Americans must counterattack, so the battle was on for more than 2 days. Our plan: at 1 a.m. Christmas Eve, an awesome 10-minute barrage of American artillery and mortars rained on that village. At 1:10 a.m., the 3rd and 4th platoons were given orders to charge through Verdenne, try to avoid any confrontation with the shell-shocked Germans and dig in on the far side, and seal off an escape route. The 1st and 2nd platoons were to attack 10 minutes later and sweep and occupy the village. A mortar of ours did not stop shelling at 1:10 a.m. and wounded 6 soldiers of the 3rd and 4th platoons. We rushed through anyway and dug in on the far side. The 1st and 2nd platoons attacked, but they occupied a house and backyards on the opposite side from us and dug in. The Germans recovered from shell shock and set up small mortars for close shelling. We were so close we could hear the thunk of the mortar shell dropped into the tube, the whooshing of the shells gaining height, then the whistle of the shells coming down. Is it or is it not going to land in my foxhole? One shell hit a foxhole. A new replacement took the whole blast, and his foxhole mate received not a scratch. This young kid had just joined our 3rd platoon that afternoon. He looked 15, small, scared, and bewildered. He wasn't with us long enough to become acquainted with anyone, and now a statistic. What a lonely end for that young kid. I was sergeant of the 3rd platoon, and what happens our 3rd platoon experiences. The shelling finally stopped. It became very quiet in the village, and I was very ticked off why this planned 30-minute attack wasn't over. I sent 2 men to get through Verdenne to find out the screw-up. They didn't return, so I asked Waldron Dyer if he were up to some excitement. He whispered, "Let's go." It was very dark. We snuck to a house. Then a German fired point-blank at us. He must have fired at sound or shadows. Waldron emptied his rifle in the direction of the shot. We scurried forward between 2 houses and onto the street. This shooting got the Germans all riled up, and they were talking and ordering us to surrender. From the sound and voices, we surmised they thought we had ducked into a house. We whispered, "We better get the hell back." We stealthily got back to the hedgerow, alerted our buddies, and with huge sighs of relief jumped into our foxholes. Our lieutenant then surprised us by producing a bottle of White Horse Scotch from his combat pack and passed it around for us to have a nip of Christmas cheer. A very unusual event and unusual surroundings. I continued to be very agitated with the turn of events. I told Frank that it being quiet in the village, I would sneak back alone to find out what the hell the holdup was. I snuck back the same way to the street and sprinted across like a pit bull was on my butt, and at a house detached from the village I found our company headquarters. The 1st and 2nd platoons were dug in close to the Germans in the village. Our commanding officer told me they had sustained too many casualties from our own mortars to attempt sweeping the village. I thought to myself, bullshit. He promised relief soon, as help was on the way. I decided not to hold my breath waiting. The 2 I'd sent back earlier were there on guard duty. I was to discuss it with them. I left them there. I got back without confrontation and passed the word, help is coming whenever. Late the next morning, about 200 yards in front, 3 German tanks rumbled into view. We knew there had to be German infantry ready to attack from the brush and woods. The tanks rumbled about, gunning their engines, twisting and turning, their cannons pointed at us. This went on for about a minute or 2, just like bulls pawing the ground before charging. If their intent was to intimidate and strike fear, they succeeded very well. We were locked into foxholes with only our rifles plus the Germans behind us in the village. Our odds were damn poor. Then cannon fire erupted from the woods 200 yards to our left. We heard and saw the powerful clap of cannon fire, the quick whistle of shells, and the explosion of shells impacting the German tanks. We had 50-yard line seats to an awesome spectacle of the destruction of the enemy tanks. We exploded in hysterical yelling, screaming, and cheering. What a fantastic Christmas present. Our morale was sky high. Christmas night, I snuck through the village again, hoping to hear some glad tidings and pick up K-rations for that night's dinner. No news, just K-rations. I got back to find out that Hank Oltman, who had been severely wounded Christmas Eve, was in critical condition and needed to be evacuated. I picked 2 riflemen to be our firepower. Doc Gibson, our aide man, and I picked up Hank, and with his arms around our neck, we carried him. I was thankful I'd been through Verdenne twice, thus having a route to go by. We skulked our way so slowly between the 2 houses and onto the street. I pointed at the spot to sprint to across the street for the 2 riflemen to wait for us there. If they got shot at, keep going, because Doc, Hank, and I would not follow, for we would be easy target practice. No shots were fired. Doc and I carried Hank across the no-place-to-hide street, sweating out every slow, measured step. I recall whispering to Hank to relieve some stress, "If you didn't have such a big ass, we'd be across by now." We eventually made it to our company command post. The 4 of us bid good luck to Hank, whispered to him how lucky he was to be getting the hell out of here. We had good feelings about helping Hank. Even after 60 years, memories of Christmas and the Battle of the Bulge, 1944, always remain close to the surface. During this Christmas experience, we packed 50 pounds of life into a 10-pound sack.